Greetings, fellow slinging agents in the wild. It's your trusted handler, welcoming you once again into the digital rage room with yet another episode. But the business must come first. Shout-outs. You know, I'm going to have to get a bumper for these. Just something cool so everybody knows when they're popping up. The first one goes out to Gilbert Isla of Steam, Steel, and Murder, who had this to say. Scotch is for closers, Agent Haynes. You get a Diet Coke. Well, all I could say to this is, stay tuned, Gilbert. Just stay tuned. Next we hear from James Wachter, who stated, Trusted Handler, you write an amazing campaign and the gents play it great. Thanks, guys. As always, thank you, James. I'm glad you're enjoying the material we're putting out. That means a lot to me. I do work these homebrews over prior to running them, and I do worry that what I think might be interesting that others may not find as compelling or as engaging, but hearing it from you and hearing it from some of the other fellow slinging agents in the wild, I think that we're hitting a high note on this one, and thank you for your compliment. I appreciate it. And then we got Delay of Upload chiming in with a new episode on my birthday. What an awesome gift. Enjoying them as always, fellas. Well, what else can I say other than happy birthday, of course. And we still have quite a few more episodes of this season to drop for you, so the birthday's just going to keep on giving. And finally, at long last, someone I had yet to hear from since Collateral Damage started. Balint Babos. I thought you gave up on us. He writes, good to have you back, guys. I needed to catch up with the new season. I can't wait for what's going to happen with our beloved agents. As a personal request, do you think it would be possible to share the agents' character sheets just to browse through? Let me start off by saying we are glad to be back as well. And please, catch up because it'll be over before you know it. As for your request, I see no problem with this. It's just a matter of getting the hard slingers to send them to me. I know Sammy has already sent me his upon my request, so I'm just waiting for the others. So let me know where you would like them posted so I could get them out to you. Well, that about does it for all the replies. Remember, if you want me to give you a shout out, then head over and subscribe to our YouTube channel at Roll the Hard 20 and leave a comment while you're there. Don't forget, agents, we're also on all major podcast platforms, so check us out there if you haven't already. And if you think someone might like what we're putting out, then tell them. I know I would appreciate it. All right, enough said. Let's warm up our dice and top off our glasses. Roll the Hard 20 presents our homebrew Delta Green scenario, Collateral Damage, Episode 5.
Fine.
Might as well. Might as well get the extra juicy stuff in there.
Say it now while you can, because
Yeah.
And that's why my pants are off.
anybody need some more chapstick?
Well, I figured since you guys can only see the top half, pants were optional.
Yeah.
Pants are for squares.
Like SpongeBob?
Just beat me to it.
I could see it. I could smell the wood burning 3,000 miles away.
Yeah.
So how's everybody's week been?
We're going by fast. This is a good thing.
Good. Yeah. And next week's going to be even shorter.
Yeah, it is.
Yes. Excited. Very excited.
Yeah. Prepping the house, getting it all nice and clean so when the barbarians and hooligans storm the gates and come over here from Florida and California, the place is ready.
That's right. Unite. Well, let me lead us in and I'll kind of crunch a little bit of the backstory of last episode. Greetings, fellows. Yeah. Greetings, fellow slingers. Welcome back to Roll the Hard 20 podcast. Is I, your trusted and frequently interrupted handler, Brian, and with me, my hard slingers of yore.
I did it before.
Yeah. So here we are. Episode 5 of our Collateral Damage run through. Don't you do it. So right now we have both teams separated, investigating two different crime threads. We've got Agents Coldwell and Rice investigating what's going on at the Potomac Gardens apartments, where they believe that the pimp of the 3 dead prostitutes may be involved with their demise. And we have Agents Each and Adesso over at the medical examiner's office. And we're going to go with Each and Adesso first. Agents, you go to the medical examiner's office with Detective Ramsey because they have the 3rd victim on a slab over there, and the medical examiner is waiting for you, as well as Treasury Enforcement Agent Dalton, who is there to check the folded currency. While they're talking with the doctor, you notice he seems very lethargic. He tells you where the evidence is at, and as Dalton goes to look at it, Each you follow him. He opens up one of the cupboards that has the money in it. He pulls out one of the folded $10 bills, starts getting a little squirrely, pulls the second one out, and immediately pulls his gun out to shoot himself in the head. Each, you take the weapon from him. Adesso, as you go over to assist, leaving Dr. Latta alone in the restroom, who then kills himself.
We saved the agent.
You save the agent, left the medical examiner alone in the restroom.
For a second.
For a second is all it took. Ramsey looks down at Adesso holding TEA Dalton to the floor. Puddle of spit and tears around his face. You see him whimpering and kicking his legs, and he looks at you, Adesso, and he says, "What the hell's going on here, Odysseus? I mean, holy fuck. Okami, you're telling me Lotta's dead now too? What the fuck is going on here, agents?"
I'm not sure what's happened, but Lotta is not the problem right now. Currently, TEA agent Dalton drew his firearm in a room with agents and looked like he was about to try to kill himself. I think you should probably take him out of this room and get him in a secure area. Odysseus, if you want to help, you can. I will stay in the room and make sure no one contaminates the area where Dr. Lotta is.
Holy fuck, Bill. Help me get him up. Let me get him out into the hallway. At least I could get him some water or something on his face. You cool him off a little bit. Come on, Bill. Let's go. I gotta call this in, guys. I'll make the call out in the hallway. Come on. And you see him reach down and pick him up. And as he's doing that, his eyes start to drift towards the counter, and he quickly looks away from where the money is laid out atop of it. He pulls him up. Dalton's just like a wet rag, just leaning on him, kind of sniffling in his neck, but he's slowly regaining his composure again. Come on, let's get out. Let's get out there. Come on, Bill, we'll get you handled. They leave the medical examiner's office, and as the door's closing, you see Ramsey pulling out his phone.
I thought at first it was going to be his firearm. I'm like, oh shit, we're going down.
Hallway, take 2. Yeah.
Well, as soon as I can, I would like to, maybe through peripheral vision, whatever, but secure these bills, take them, and then put the evidence away and things like that. Now, if Ramsey comes in looking for it, maybe I'll talk to him about that. He seems like he's also feeling something weird about those, but until then, I'll pocket those if I can.
Okay, so you make your way over to the counter and swipe the 2 folded $10 bills.
Yeah, trying as hard as possible not to look directly at him, looking at it with the peripherals of my vision.
Okay.
I'll see if I can grab the handkerchief from my pocket and maybe pocket them in there without touching them.
Okay.
As much as possible. So if it ever comes back, it's like, why are your prints on this? I'd rather have it where I can deny that. So was I able to swipe the bills without any issue?
Yeah.
Okay.
Your vision allowed you to see it out of the peripheral of your eyes.
Yeah, let's make sure that we cut that, dude. This one will be edited, hopefully.
Oh, yes, definitely.
So,
Yeah.
So, hi.
Hey!
Okay, so now that those two are secured, I'm not trying to worry about keeping these separate, but I know that there's the other two evidence boxes in there, and now unfortunately going to have to try to go through those as quickly as possible. I probably will have to look at them at some point, but at least I'm not looking at 6 bills. I'll only be looking at 4.
Yeah, and the other two little boxes, they're small. They're both closed. And the other one says Shaw, and then the third one says Archer.
Okay, well, I'm going to be going from one to the other, so.
Okay. You pull open this little drawer. It's probably 4 inches wide, 8 inches deep, and 2 inches thick. Tell me what you do with this drawer as you open it up.
Yeah, I'm going to be erring on the side of trying to do this quickly, so I'm going to open this up, take things out until I hopefully see an envelope that has bills in it.
There's 3 things in the first drawer that's labeled Shaw, 2 folded triangles, and a blade.
Okay. What was so we noted on the other one, the one guy used his martial arts style blade. Did Shaw use a broken bottle or something like that? Do we know that already?
She used a serrated knife.
I'm sorry,
Serrated
serrated
kitchen
knife. Okay,
knife.
not that it really matters, but what did the knife in the Archer container? What type of knife was it?
It was a box cutter that he
Okay.
swapped out the blade.
That's okay. So yeah, like clearly, Doctor used a scalpel. You said, right?
That's correct.
So the knives to me are unimportant. Now I'm not going to even concern myself with them. I'm
It was
purely
probably a
going to look
matter of convenience and
Yeah.
familiarity.
Yeah, it's what's on hand. So I will try to, as quickly as possible and without looking as much as possible, pocket the other bills and then put everything away.
Okay. And I'm not even going to have you roll for it because I'm imagining that you're just opening the drawer and not even looking,
Yeah.
just going through, grabbing the items. Are you grabbing the knives as well or just the monies?
I'm looking to just grab the monies, and I'm also going to be using a handkerchief as well, just so I don't want to, if for some reason they catch me with these bills in the pocket, I don't want to have my fingerprints, or I could drop them somewhere else and say they got, whatever it is. I just don't want to have contact with these hypergeometric things or whatever they are.
Very good. So, Okami, after you police up these 6 bills and pocket them, the medical examiner's office gets stone quiet. It's just you, the buzz of the overhead lights, and you hear faint dripping from the restroom.
Is that the dripping from the doctor bleeding out?
Possibly.
Okay.
Odysseus, you have helped Ramsey escort Dalton all the way down the hallway back down towards where the elevator is at. He's got him leaned over the water fountain, kind of splashing water in his face to the point where Dalton's actually holding himself up at this point. Ramsey looks away from him, knowing that the man's got his faculties back, and he says, yeah, what the hell's going on in there? I don't understand this. Does this have anything to do with these suicides and how they took themselves out?
Doesn't look like to be completely related. I think it's just the stress and the horror of something. Let's see what he has to say. But first, can you do me a favor? Can you get him something hot to drink? Coffee, tea, something, anything hot. Helps promote the circulation because I think he's going to go into shock. Can you do that? I'll stay with him.
Yeah, I'll go down to the cafeteria really quick. He walks the 3 feet over to the elevator, pushes the button.
Be sure it has caffeine in it, he calls out.
Yeah, I'll get that handled. The doors open. He goes into the elevator, and as the doors begin to close, he puts his hand out and he holds the door open. He's like, you know what? Dwayne was saying that his wife had recently left him. And I know he's been carrying the torch for this, trying to get it back. And I don't know, it just seems kind of strange. The doctor discovered the same way that my other 3 suicides have gone. I'm having trouble believing this is just an accident. He lets the doors go and they close. You see the elevator ding down the floors, leaving you alone in the hallway with Treasury Enforcement Agent Dalton.
Yeah, I had also said to Ramsey when he came in, what's going on? I said he had a call with his girlfriend or wife. They were fighting. all that.
Dwayne is the doctor, though.
No, but you were talking about Dalton, right? Having problems with the wife.
No, I was talking about Dr. Lotta. Was his wife had left.
Dalton's
was already an ex-wife.
Yeah.
But
Totally
he was.
gone.
I had mentioned that they were having issues, like because he had just called her and texted her or something.
Yeah, well, he was texting her.
Yeah,
That's what he was doing. But you find out now that the doctor was having marital problems too. So
he's married. Shocker. Dr. Shocker.
Okay.
Okay.
Odysseus will talk to Dalton, who's, my guess, is still bent over the sink or the water fountain.
Yeah.
Okay. Dalton, look at me. I'm going to
He
tell you
looks up.
something right now. Look at
Pallor
me.
in his face is just still white.
Look at me.
Yeah.
Concentrate what I'm saying. What you saw was real. Don't think about it anymore. Get yourself collected. Think of something happy. Think about anything happy. Your first promotion, birth of your kid, something. When you graduated from the academy, when you first got your badge, Christmas, your birthday. Think of something happy and lock onto that.
You see his eyes dart around, kind of confused, kind of scanning something in the air. And then for the briefest moment, they lock onto something far away. And then you see a smile kind of appear on his face.
Mm.
You see the color begin to return to his face. And he starts breathing more evenly again.
Gotcha.
He's like, I don't even understand. What am I doing out in this hallway? What are we doing? Where's Ramsey at?
Ramsey went to get you some coffee or tea. I'm not sure. It doesn't matter. Point is, you got to calm yourself down. There was an issue. We worked our way through it. And you're fine. You understand me? You're fine. Nothing's wrong with you. You're good. Keep thinking happy thoughts. I know it sounds silly, but do it anyway. You need to keep yourself grounded on where you are. We're in the middle of an investigation. Something went wrong. You're fine. You understand me? You're fine.
I'm good. Yeah, I'm good.
You're good.
You know, I feel a little light on my hip. Somebody got my sidearm.
Yes, and your backup. We took those from you. Okay?
I'm
We
good.
took those from you for your own safety. Now, don't say anything about it. It's just the three of us to know what's going on, but you need to be completely cognizant. You are fine. You're not insane. Something went wrong and it was fixed. Don't worry about it. Just calm yourself down. You're going to need to take the rest of the day off, okay?
Yeah, and I think your partner peed on my pants.
No,
I
that's
feel fucking wet down here. Holy shit.
yeah, that's yeah. You're gonna want to go home and clean up, and I'll have Don bring your firearms back to you. Okay, just when he comes back, drink the coffee. It'll make you feel better, and you go home, take the rest of the day off. Okay?
Where's your partner at?
He's in the ME's office.
Is he okay?
He's fine.
Okay. All right.
He's fine. Don't worry about him. I got it all controlled. You're good.
All right.
Okay?
Yeah, I'm
I
good.
need you to fixate on that. Yes, good.
Let me
Has
just sit
Ramsey
down
come
for a
back
minute.
yet?
Yeah. The elevator dings open right as you're asking me that.
Mhm.
He's got a cup of coffee. He's taking a sip off it. Hey, I got this for you, Bill.
All right, drink it slowly, and then leave him with the coffee. Give the coffee to Dalton, and then I'll motion Ramsey. Come over here for a second. Yeah.
Leave the
I'm
coffee.
gonna have him go home. Have him take the rest of the day off. Clean himself up. Give him back his firearms when you get him to his house or apartment, wherever the heck he lives. Okay. There's nothing wrong with him. Something just happened. He's fine. He's good to go. He's
But why are
locked in.
you
He's all
agents
right.
gonna go though? What are you doing?
I'm going to check with Agent Okami. We're going to go through the ME's office, and then we're going to report to our superiors. But everything's good. What time is it out of game?
About 11 o'clock
In the morning?
night.
Night. Okay, yeah. We'll just back in game. We'll meet tomorrow, 7 a.m. at your office. Get some sleep as best we can, and we'll circle back up.
Okay. You guys gonna get your own ride then, or what? Or you want me to leave you my ride? Actually, I'll tell you what. Because I got the boys down in the van right now. We'll take Bill back home in the van. I'll leave you Bill's keys. Bill, give me your keys. He just takes his keys out of his pocket. There you go. It's a silver Charger down the parking lot.
Gotcha. Odysseus takes the house
Charger or
keys off of it,
Camaro.
or just takes off the car key and hands them back. Okay, cool. I just need the car key. We'll get it back to you tomorrow.
All right, good deal.
Betsy.
Then
He polices up the weapons, gets Bill, goes in the elevator, takes him down, and he's out of the medical examiner's office. You could only imagine, though, that his call that he made is to get people to the ME's office for the body.
got it.
So that's going to give you about 12 minutes to do whatever you got to do.
Okay. Odysseus will go back to Okami and says, I sent Dalton and Ramsey off on their way. We'll meet them tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock at Ramsey's office. We got their car, so we have a ride back. I suggest we call Odin and Omega, let them know what's going on, and warn them that if they find any folded bills, it could be very hazardous to their sanity. And then we should call Heisenberg and let him know.
But you don't know what they're looking at, though. You don't know what they're investigating. You just know.
No, I don't. But if they happen to find any bills, I think they should get a heads up.
Okay.
Well, perhaps we don't warn them about that because currently the bills are no longer in evidence. And I kind of tap my pocket.
Yeah. Okay, that's good. But we got to warn our people.
Yes.
Yeah. We don't say anything to Dalton and Ramsey, but we tell our people.
Yeah. Now that could be an issue when we're meeting tomorrow about if they check the evidence and those bills aren't there. So we'll have to come up with something clever for that.
Yeah. What changed? What I don't understand is whoever was handling these bills didn't have any problems. What changed? Why now?
I'm not sure. I didn't really look at the bills, but I have them all. And we can examine those later.
We'll have to figure it out. Is there anything else we need from the ME's office?
Probably just to lock the door so no one contaminates the scene so they can spend all their time going over that instead of wondering why we left with potential evidence.
Well, I don't think they'll be worried about the evidence. They'll be too busy worrying about the ME. And
Ramsey is onto it. I can tell he knows something is up with those bills.
He did express to me on the elevator, or he was leaving on the elevator to get some coffee, sent him on an errand so I could assess Dalton. And he told me that there was 3 different issues. He saw that the 2 victims were stressed out. He drew the comparison between Dalton talking to his ex and the ME medical examiner also having a problem. Dr. Lotta also having a problem of a personal nature. So it seems to be the common thread is a stressor or a highly emotional situation, either personal or possibly could be business, but all these things have been very personal to these people. So I think that's the common factor.
Yeah, and same with the victims.
Yeah. Yes.
Marlo Griffin had a recent breakup.
Right.
And Lorraine Shaw was seeing a psychiatrist, and Davis Archer, I believe, had a fiance at one point.
Yes. Everybody was going through something. They were going through a personal, traumatic, emotional issue. And that seemed to make them particularly vulnerable to something. So we'll find out what that is. So let's make our calls.
Yeah, we should leave and make those calls too.
Yeah. Well, it would be proper for us to wait for the people Ramsey sent over to talk to them about what's going on with Lotta before we leave. Otherwise, it could be seen strangely, like we just left. So we should gotta introduce them to the scene and then quietly make our way away. It is
we'll let them know that
11:30 at night.
We need to call in with reports.
Okay.
So we can say, here's the scene. We've left it handle it. Ramsey knows where to contact us.
Yeah.
Within moments, the elevator dings. You see 6 men in uniform get off, looking at you 2 individuals. And we're just going to kind of hand wave this whole thing that you tell them where to go down the medical examiner's office. They pass you by, go through the door. One of them's already on the walkie, squawking away. Leaves you guys in the hallway.
All right, we're leaving. We are leaving to go find that charger, and then we'll make our phone calls from the car.
Okay. You guys make it back down to the lobby, out into the parking lot. You see Ramsey's van, long gone. A lone Nissan wagon off in the corner, probably the doctor's. You see a few squad cars, and you see a silver Dodge Charger underneath one of the lamps.
All right. Activate the key fob to make sure it's the right one.
Boop, boop. There it is.
There we go. All right. Okami, you don't mind if I drive, do you?
I'm totally fine with that.
Okay. We'll jump on in and let's call Odin first. What's up, phone? Charles Odin's number.
Coldwell. As you and Rice are walking through the hallways of this DC Metropolitan Police Department, you're following Detective Haynes as he's leading you back through the bullpen. Your phone begins to vibrate in its pocket.
Coldwell takes the phone out of his pocket, looks at the number, recognizes the number, and takes a little bit of a distance between earshot of anyone in the bullpen and answers it. This is Agent Odin. Hello? Is anyone there?
Yes. Odin. I'm listening and grooving with it. Yeah, man, all's good. Odin, this is Odysseus. Just want to give you an update. There's been a development. If you guys happen across any or find any folded bills folded into, well, a triangle or a delta, be very, very careful on how you view them. We've noticed that people are having breakdowns of the kind that we are familiar with, and it's leading to suicide. So just be very, very cautious about that. Also, what are you investigating on your end?
Omega and myself are assisting Detective Haynes on a series of murders that ended up happening by the Botanic Gardens. So far, haven't found much of the cause of the deaths or the reason why the deaths are happening, but Detective Haynes believes they're a string of a possible serial killer on the loose. The only things that we have found in common in the area is the radius of where these murders have happened. They all seem to centralize around the hub of the Botanic Gardens apartment, which is a low housing income development for housing for these people. That and each 3 bodies that we have found have been located near a bus stop within less than a 2-mile radius of the Botanic Garden apartments. We examined one of the bodies earlier of the most recent deaths, and we discovered that these working girl females have 45-degree lacerations across the neck, severing their carotid artery. Agent Omega made the brilliant observation that both these lacerations were made from back to front, meaning that they possibly saw their assailant before the murder happened. Other than that, we weren't able to find any folded bills or any kind of personal artifacts on their person at the time.
Odesso, does that sound familiar to the suicide cuts? 2 cuts along the carotid artery?
On the carotid arteries.
3 are suicides, 3 are murders.
Yourself, you would probably go front to back rather than back to front. But yeah.
I'm just saying, the wounds are similar. The methods of how they delivered might be different, but there is a definite link.
Cuts to the neck, and that requires a lot of will. Odin, what we've been looking at is our investigation has led us to a couple of suicides, and we've been investigating those. And the connecting factor running between all the suicides seems to be some kind of emotional trauma or an episode in their personal lives that have led to a feeling of psychic vulnerability. And then the issue becomes a triggering point of some kind. Something happens to them. One of our victims was called, either sent a text message to a link to another site that he accessed and saw something. Another one, we're not really sure on what happened on all those things, but something happens that triggers them and they kill themselves. Today, the medical examiner was looking at those folded bills that were found at the crime scenes. And for whatever reason, he went insane, did in fact kill himself. The other Treasury agent was brought in to take a look at the bills to determine whether or not there was counterfeit, to see if there was a nexus between organized crime or some other kind of counterfeiting ring. He looked at the bills too and also tried to kill himself. We were able to stop him, but we did not succeed with the medical examiner. Now, we've taken custody of the bills, but if you guys happen to find anything, be very, very cautious with them. So the good news is, once removed from viewing the bills, our Treasury guy was able to get back up on his feet. He's going to be okay. So it's just a temporary thing. Also, he's been experiencing some emotional trauma. He's had some problems in his personal life, which may have been the susceptibility to viewing these bills, which would cause the triggering event. So there's a bunch of things going on here. I'm going to call Heisenberg next, give him a rundown on what's going on. And we're going to be at Don Ramsey's office tomorrow at 7. And we're going to continue to investigate.
If the Treasury guy and the doctor both examine the bills, what do you advise us how to treat this money? I mean, how are you guys handling it? What triggered it other than trauma?
We're not sure. Something on the bills probably is what it was. The triggering event is to view the bills and whatever. There's probably something written on the bills, or I don't know. We'll find out. But viewing the bills is the issue. I mean, they're folded into triangles. We're not sure why the guy who collected the bills didn't go insane. Person who processed the bills and put them into an envelope so that the ME and the Treasury agent could look at them didn't go insane. I'm not sure what our doctor, our medical examiner did. I'm not sure what our Treasury agent did. There wasn't enough time for us to figure out if they just opened them or folded them. I don't know what they did. We'll find out. But when viewing those bills, that was a triggering event for them. And they both tried to kill themselves, which makes sense because our 3 victims also had those bills near their person, and they all killed themselves. And our medical examiner cut his throat. The Treasury agent tried to shoot himself in the head. He didn't have access to a blade, but he did draw his sidearm and try to shoot himself. So that's the only difference we've seen so far.
So it might seem like these murders are related in some way.
There's something going on.
Agent Dalton barely looked at the bills, and he went off the rails. So depending on someone's level of trauma or drama in their life, it could be a lot more for someone who's on the breaking point.
All right, agents. Well, Detective Haynes informed us that each one of these work girls are being murdered one a night. This is the 3rd night, 3rd body found. So it has some kind of connection of our suicides along with these work girls being killed. Don't know if some kind of dark ritual that's being performed as well, but as far as I can tell, we haven't seen any form of folded bills or any currency on their money. We spoke to their pimp, who should be handling most of their money, but he seems to be oblivious on who's causing this or for what reason. He's just putting on a strong game face in front of his boys to not feel weak in case someone else is causing these deaths, not to lead on to being weakened from other people stepping on his territory.
Got it. Well, as an alternative line of threatening, you can always tell them that you're going to have them audited by the IRS and the Treasury Agency, because we have connections to those departments now. And yeah, go after what he wants most, his money. So yeah, we'll just have all your assets and cash accounts seized. Don't you worry about it, man. I don't know, it may work on him, may not. All right, I'm going to call Heisenberg, and we'll keep each other informed if anything new develops. But just be careful around any folded bills or anything looking like you and I know weird things look.
And we'll also secure a room or 2 rooms that we can all hunker down for the evening and then go over everything a bit more in depth and not over the phone, where it'll be a little bit easier to understand. Then we'll all look at the triangles and see if we can make some shapes.
Yeah. Well, I'll do a sanity check collectively.
Yeah. Send me a text of the location where you want to meet next. I'll inform Agent Omega with our findings.
And here's some pictures of the triangles just in case.
Ah!
All right. Odysseus will hang up and then call Heisenberg.
The phone rings once, and Heisenberg picks up. Odysseus,
Got an update for you.
give it to me.
All right. The suicides are all seen to be connected by a personal tragedy of some kind or some kind of other emotional stressor that they're figuring out in their lives. Then there's a triggering event. What we've narrowed it down to is the dollar bills that were folded, in this case $10 bills that were folded into a triangle or a delta, if you will, found near the bodies. Those are now relevant because once we took the bills back to the medical examiner's office and the medical examiner unfolded or whatever he did, he examined one of the bills. It was triggering for him, and he cut his throat and died.
Just one of the bills?
Say again?
Just one of the bills did that?
It looked like it was.
He looked at all of them. He was the medical examiner, and there are a total of 6 bills that he must have gone through.
Did you see him go through all 6?
No, but when we got there, he was already a disheveled mess. So he's either looked at all of them or was going over the 2 specifically.
So what is it, Adesso? Did he look at 6? Did he look at 1? Did he look at 4? What's going on?
We're not sure if the ME looked at all 6 or not. Maybe he did.
We can't ask him, by the way. So
yeah,
I don't know if that helps.
He succeeded in killing himself. However,
what the fuck, guys?
He
killed himself, so it looks like another suicide. So that's 4.
It gets a
Could
little.
Have been 5. It's not as bad as it sounds.
5. What does that mean?
Well, the Treasury agent that was brought in to take a look and see if the bills were counterfeit or anyway related to what was going on, he did get a glimpse at only one of the bills.
Oh, sweet that was sufficient. Jesus.
And that was sufficient enough for him to pull out his pistol and try to shoot himself. We were able to overcome that. The problem and the reason, as mitigation in our particular investigation, these bills had already been handled by multiple people. They were collected at the crime scenes, logged into evidence, and then transported to the medical examiner's office. And none of the people who handled them had any issues whatsoever. So we had no reason to suspect that they were unique or specialized. So it took a detailed examination to turn these people from normal operating humans into suicide machines. So we're closely investigating that to see what, in fact, well, we've collected the bills. We're going to try to figure out what they are.
Well, holy shit, guys. I was hoping you'd help stop this, not escalate it, but...
Well, there won't be any more suicides with these bills because we have them here with us. So that evidence is gone. The bodies were killed the similar fashion with 2 cuts across the throat. Different knives, different situations, different people. So I didn't think that was important to try to get rid of the bodies or the weapons. The key factor is the bills, and we have those. So that part should be cleaned up.
You know, I do have a question, though, gentlemen. I'm hearing a lot of I and me and each and you, and I'm not hearing anything about Rice and Coldwell. Where are they at?
They're investigating another parallel set of murders. Our suicides were 1 per day. They're investigating some streetwalker working girls who were investigated 1 per night. They've been 3 of them so far, so they're helping out DC police on those cases. We believe that there's a crossover because of the manner in which everyone was killed exactly alike. That is, cuts to the carotid arteries on the left and right side. Not 1, but 2. Even our suicides did that. So we're seeing a unity of methodology, common way of killing yourself, which is really strange. So they're investigating that.
So these streetwalkers killed themselves too?
No, they were murdered. They were murdered, but they were murdered with cuts to the neck. The same way that our victims killed themselves.
All right, I gotta go. Keep me posted. Where are you guys staying this evening? Do you have a place where you guys gonna hole up?
We are going to place. We'll text you the info when we know.
Okay, I have some comps at a hotel close by. If you want to procure a couple of rooms there, just use your card. They'll know.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll probably stay at the. Wait a minute, is it the Hyatt at the Washington Mall? Is that what you're talking about?
No, it's called the American Suites.
Got it.
SWEETS.
Got it.
Okay. They always have rooms available.
Out.
You fire up the charger. Just rumbles. And then you hear your phone buzzing in your pocket, Adesso.
Takes it out, looks at it. Caller ID showing up.
Detective Ramsey.
Turns to Okami. Well, each probably going to be short on sleep tonight. So he answers the phone, puts it on speaker. Detective Ramsey, I'm here with Agent Okami. What do you got?
Yeah, you know, I need for the 2 of you to meet me at the hospital ASAP.
Okay, what's up?
We got another individual.
Another one? Suicide or murder?
Well, this one's not in the morgue, but rather in a hospital bed.
Okay. We'll be there.
All right. ASAP, please.
We're on our way.
Hangs up.
Well, no rest for the wicked.
The night is just getting longer for you, gentlemen.
We'll have to figure out also, too, if we're going to have to bring this guy into the fold. You know, I don't want to do that. Yeah, because he seems to know what's going on. At least from when I was talking, he was very suspicious of how all four of us have the O names.
Well,
Didn't bring anything up too crazy, but was bringing it up. He also seemed to be kind of lingering on the idea about these $10 bills. So I don't know if he knows something or what, but he is definitely suspicious. So I can see him being the one that confronts us about the missing evidence of the $10 bills.
You know what? Maybe it's worth a call to Heisenberg to find out how we recruit, because this guy's pretty smart. It wouldn't be a bad thing to have another contact for the organization in Washington, D.C. You know,
I think we need to wait first because we don't know who this guy is.
Yeah. But Washington, D.C. being such a hotbed of emotional energy, it may be a good thing for the organization to have more contacts there. Or if he's not, maybe this would be our recruiting opportunity for us, because once he's read in, he either joins or becomes cleaned. And that's the unfortunate way it is.
Mm-hmm. Well, if worse comes to worse, I'll just pocket the $10 bills and hold it up to his face, and then he can deal with his own self.
Yeah, that we should probably keep some of these bills in the event that we need to have anybody else cleaned.
Somebody's charging you too much at a restaurant. Keep the change, asshole.
Hey, wash your window. Here you go, buddy.
$20.
Fucking squeegeeing his neck open. Got the spray bottle.
Did we just find the solution to a homeless problem? Cut that out.
Okay. Tell me what you're doing, Tom.
All right. We're going to put the hospital's address, or just simply have Siri help us navigate to the hospital using the GPS. And we'll drive there, park in the doctor-only parking lot, flashing our ID. So we get the best spot closest to the elevator. And then we'll go into intake. He said go to the hospital. I didn't ask him where in the hospital. But,
well, as you pull into the parking lot, you could see at the front of the hospital, you see Ramsey and Detective Sean Burns standing side by side at the entrance waiting for you.
Gotcha. So we'll park the car, get on out, and say, hey, guys, we're here.
He's like, follow me inside. I'm going to break this down to you as quickly as I possibly can, because I want to get up to the room. Got another Vic who was brought in 5 days ago for an apparent suicide. And he exhibits the exact same wounds on both sides of his neck. No doubt he would have expired were it not for the landscaper that worked the condo complex where he lives. I guess the gardener caught a glimpse of the Vic through the window, saw him on the floor. Apparently the guy watches a lot of Discovery shit or whatever on TV, and he broke in and was able to stabilize Mr. Wheeler long enough for the EMTs to arrive. Unfortunately, he's been held on a breaking and entering charge until Mr. Wheeler is cognizant enough to not press charges, but we'll see where that goes. Anyways, Mr. Wheeler has been in a coma for the last 4 days, which is why we haven't heard anything about this guy. But it appears that he just woke up from this coma, and based on the time frame, we're calling this guy Victim Zero.
So before even Archer, he was the one that did this first.
Exactly.
Okay.
So this actually goes further back than we originally thought.
Okay. Do you know if this is offhand, we've also been able to talk to our agents about the murder of the hookers.
Is that the one that Haynes is handling over there?
Yes.
Okay.
And we were interested because of the similar methods of how they died, cuts to their throats, but one on each side. When was the first hooker found?
I didn't know it was one on each side. Let's see, he's doing his third one this evening. There was one last night, the night before. So,
okay. So
the last
time
3
doesn't
nights.
line up.
The time frame doesn't line up, but the days seem to line up, though.
Okay.
What we believed our first Vic was that night, his first Vic. and then yesterday and last night, and then today, and the one that he just recruited your 2 agents to go follow him to tonight.
Yeah.
So we're running 3-on-3, but from, it's a pretty wild place over there where those girls walk.
Right. We haven't been able to really talk much with our fellow agent, but he briefed us, well, briefly. So I was just wondering if this new victim for our group lines up with theirs. Let's go see and talk to, what is Mr. Wheeler's name?
Terrence Wheeler.
Terrence Wheeler.
He's a young man, about 26 years old.
You know anything about him?
Sean, you got the paperwork? And you see his partner hand him a Xeroxed copy of what looks to be an admittance sheet. Looks like he's 120 pounds, 5'4", sandy blonde hair. This doesn't really tell me anything, Sean. What the fuck? So I'm sorry, boss. You're here with the same time I am right now. I just we're all learning about this right now. Anyways, let's go up and have a talk with Mr. Wheeler and see what we can find out.
Okay.
The elevators open and they start going down the hallway. You see the nurse's station right in the middle of the floor. You go past it and you go to room 706. As you enter, you see this rail thin man. Looks kind of petite for his age. You see that his hair is just matted, just darkened and matted with sweat or having not been washed in a couple of days. Got rings under his eyes, looks a little gaunt, and just kind of feebly moving his head from side to side, not really moving his arms. And you see a nurse is kind of stationed at the door. She sees the 4 of you coming towards the room, and she's like, I'm sorry, gentlemen, this is too many people for Mr. Wheeler. Can we kind of peel some of this back a little? Hey, Sean, you mind just posting yourself outside the door? Yeah, whatever, boss. I'll do it for you. So yeah, you kind of keep it quick, please, Mr. Wheeler. He's only been awake for a short time, but he really insisted on seeing somebody. So I'll give you guys about 10 minutes with him.
Yeah.
Who did he ask for?
He has to speak to the police.
Okay, that's us.
Detective Ramsey, do we know if anyone's been to Mr. Wheeler's residence where he committed the act?
No, not yet.
Besides the landscaper?
Yeah, the landscaper broke into the house. So I'm imagining that the landlord probably buttoned up the window, but we haven't been over there yet.
Could you do me a favor? Could
Sure.
you please, maybe if you need to post someone there, fine, but please don't have anyone enter the house until either myself or Agent Odysseus has a chance to go look at it. If you could do me that favor, I would appreciate it. Of course, we could go together. I don't mind that, but I just don't want anyone else in the scene.
I don't mind waiting for you at all. I'm just kind of curious. And he leans in closer. He's like, what is it you are expecting to find at this residence, Agent Okami?
Probably the same thing that you think that you will find there as well.
A bloody knife?
Well, of course that, but there's something else that's been in all the other scenes as well. And I would really hope that if there is something there, that potentially you and I are the first ones to go there and find it. I think you know what I'm talking about. Please don't be coy.
I'll get a man stationed outside the condo right now.
And make sure they don't enter, not just to contaminate the evidence or worry about that, but just if you could allow me that favor, and then we could go, all of us, after we talk to Mr. Wheeler.
Sounds good. He goes out in the hallway. He and Sean make a call. Tickle each other. They're out there for a few moments. Did you want to wait for him before you conduct this interview?
I think we could start.
Okay.
All right. We'll just take good notes.
And I could also, if you want, we could, I know, because Odysseus, you kind of barrel in and fucking get the hard facts. Maybe if you want, I can try to soften them up a little bit with my, would you like a coffee? Savoir faire.
Poor dude's in the hospital. You want a coffee?
Hey. You want some gum?
Yeah. So you see as you enter deeper into the room at this man. He's got these 2 thick bandages on either side of his neck. And he watches the 2 of you come in. His eyes are darting about. They have a certain feral look. And if you'd like to make an instinct check.
Yeah.
Odysseus is completely out of it with an 86 under. It doesn't matter. I know it's a fail.
All right. I made it by 24 out of under 70.
Okay. Looking at this man, you could tell he's lost a considerable amount of sanity. Most likely, him being forced bedridden is the only thing that's saved his mind. Because unlike Dalton, he hasn't had any way to unplug him from whatever's going on in his mind. And he looks at the 2 of you, and he kind of gestures feebly with his fingers towards a glass of water that's on a tray close by.
Is it a glass cup or a paper cup?
It's a plastic cup with a straw.
Oh, okay. No problem.
It's a hospital
okay.
cup.
I know what you mean. Yeah, okay. Just making sure, we don't need no one slitting their throats with the thing or killing deputies in the jail cell, I will walk over. And so Ramsey is not in the room, right?
Not yet.
Okay. Odysseus, do you mind maybe stalling Ramsey a bit?
Not at all.
I need to ask some quick questions.
Sure.
So I will give him the cup of water, and I'll start asking him some questions. Mr. Wheeler.
Yeah.
What's the cause of this? How can we help?
I just woke up in the hospital.
You tried to kill yourself?
They told me I tried to kill myself, and
do you have a reason to?
Yeah, I do. It's funny, the week started off rough. From what I remember, I just received my 1-month chit when I found out my mother died. Can you believe that?
This chit for, what's that?
It's, it's for AA.
Congratulations.
Yeah, well, the next day, the birthday card arrived for me. And, there was a card with a check for $40 inside. And, I knew what I was going to do. As soon as I heard about Mom, I went to the bank. I cashed it. Got the money.
What type of bills?
It's just the strangest thing. I get to the bank and I get in line. I get up to the teller and he's looking at me, and for a moment, neither one of us says anything. He just knows I'm there to cash the check. And
You remember his name?
I try to think.
What about the bank? What's the name of the bank?
It's my bank. It's First Colonial Bank. I've been going there for a while, anyways.
And this was on your birthday?
It was the day after. The card arrived late. Yeah,
what date would that have
on my
been?
birthday? Holy shit!
What date would that have been to? I'm sorry. I just want to get these while they're fresh in your head.
From what the nurses has told me, I've been here. It was 4 days ago. It was Monday. It was Monday. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, I get up to the teller and he's looking at me, and for a moment we just stare at each other. And he starts pulling 2 20s from the drawer, and he says, "Rough day," but he said it with a sense of concern, like genuine concern. And I said, "Yeah, yeah." Anyways, he pulls the 20s back and begins handing me 4 10s, and he said something about keeping the 20s and that our 10's all right. I just nodded absently. I didn't think twice about it. I mean, we're going to spend it on the booze anyways, right? Fuck the shit. Anyways, I go buy a bottle of Woodford. And
there goes those bills.
I'm standing in line, and I get a text at the grocery store. Something like, how to unlock your hidden strength, or whatever.
Did you follow it? The link?
Not right away. How did you know there was a link?
I was just guessing. There's a lot of scams out there by princes and all that sort of thing.
Well, I got halfway through the bottle before I left the parking lot, and by the time I got home, the chime announced that I hadn't read it yet. So I pulled it up, and it was linked to some video. I opened the link, and at that point, his eyes start to tear up. I remember grabbing the $10 bills from my wallet, and that's it. That's all I remember.
You bought this Woodford, it being a very distinguished spirit. That probably left you with one $10 bill left.
Well, I bought the small ones. They're really cheap, like the shop
airplanes.
Ones. Yeah, they got them over at the booze place right next to the main superstore.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are those leftover bills? Are those still in your wallet? Or are they at your home? I know you're just waking up, so I'm sorry to barrage you with these, but I always find it best to sort of ask these questions when the person wakes up.
I don't even know. I don't know where the money is. I don't even know how I got here.
A landscaper at your place found you and was able to bring you here and save you. So maybe when Christmas comes around, you give him a little bonus.
Sure. I mean, I always owe Julio a thing or two nowadays. I don't know if I could be more helpful, guys.
Well, we appreciate your help, and sorry for your loss with your mother. Maybe you can get back on that horse again and get that 1-year chit back. I'm sure your mother would really love that. And save that card.
Oh, yeah.
That's very special. A lot of us don't get to have that final word with our parents, and I couldn't tell you what I would give to have that with mine.
Thank you, Detective. I appreciate it.
There's going to be some more detectives coming in and all that, and feel free to answer their questions as well.
Yeah, I'll do that. Thanks for checking on me. He starts to kind of roll over to the side as you begin to leave, and he says, "Oh, you know what? I do remember something. As I was leaving the bank, the teller oddly said, 'Thank you for your time.' And I'll see you guys next session."
All right, that doesn't strike me as too odd. All right, well, we got some investigating to do.
Yep, the bank seems to be a nexus point.
As soon as that guy said that, I'm like, okay, the bills came from the bank. We got to find the bank. We got to talk.
Got to go to the bank.
I know about the suicides being one a day, right? Because that was part of the info that Heisenberg dropped on us before we even got there. Correct? Am I mute?
No, I hear you.
Oh,
No, we just don't like what you're saying.
Oh.
Acknowledge him, Tone.
Well, we're on. Yeah. Yes. Well, he's asking outside a game. I don't know.
No, he's not. He's telling you right now.
Oh no, I was asking
That was
outside. Of the game.
outside.
That was
outside of the game.
Sorry,
Pay
yeah. that was
attention,
outside.
handler.
Sorry, I was just confirming that I knew that information
Okay.
that they were outside.
Okay.
Okay, I'll fill them in a second.
Thank you for joining us once again on Roll the Hard 20 podcast. Remember, you can find us and subscribe to the show on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Pandora Radio, iHeart Radio, Amazon Podcasts, and Audible. And if you like what you're listening to, be sure to leave us that 5-star rating and review. Don't forget about our YouTube channel at Roll the Hard 20. So if you're into watching and you want to help support this show, then head on over and hit that subscribe button. It really does help the show out. We can also be found in the wild on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, so don't forget to look for us there and check us out. You can also contact the show directly at rollthehard20podcast@gmail.com or head on over to the website at rollthehard20podcast.com, where you can download the current show directly pick and choose past shows from our archives, or view our galleries. We've got a lot of stuff posted over there, so check us out. And finally, join us on our Patreon at patreon.com/rollthehard20podcast, where you can become a hard slinger and pick up swag. So until next time, keep your dice warm and your glass topped off as you roll those hard 20s.